are listening to the Old Titans. This is your host, John Paul.
B-Man. I'm sorry.
I caught B-Man off guard. I think he was expecting me to talk longer.
I was drinking. I apologize.
I think he almost drowned.
So let's try that again. This is John Paul.
This is B-Man.
And our guest this week.
HardAtWork Matt, and right across from me, my moral compass, Darth Vader himself, Thanos in the flesh. I messed it up.
That was good, though.
HardAtWork Nick.
How's it going?
Thanos
How you guys
in the
doing?
flesh. Do you have a
Doing
glove?
good. It's been
Do
a
you have a
long
glove?
time.
I used to. I lost it.
Oh.
I used it to teleport away from danger, and now it's just gone.
Get teleported too, huh?
Yeah.
Or you only
now
get
I'm just a
teleported
peaceful
away.
farmer.
You did that one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She did that one. That was a good ending right there.
Destroyed the universe and decided now you just
Yeah.
rest and relax because
Sneak
you're the bad guy who wins.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm the good guy, all right? To get that straight. Save
Just
the
Thanos.
universe.
It's just Thanos that's the bad guy.
No.
Thanos?
Thanos was the good guy. He saved the universe.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't see that movie?
Well, you know,
Thanos, the movie about Thanos where he's the good guy?
Yeah,
The
where he
universe is good
destroys
to go
half
now.
the universe.
It's good to go.
For the good of the universe. though.
Every planet, just half the people gone, huh?
Yeah.
Even the planets that were not overpopulated. And
I'm sure every single one will thrive now.
what about that planet that only had 2 people on it?
Oh, man. That
I got
last guy is
super,
real
super
upset.
lonely now.
I'd be okay with that, actually. That was peaceful. I was leave me alone. Just laid out on the beach.
Okay, I don't know.
I can't cook, though. That's no problem.
That would be a problem.
Yeah.
You'd get real bored.
Real fast.
You'd have nobody to insult about their love of DC Comics and things like
That's
that.
true.
No, we love DC Comics. Being better. I didn't need to salt them.
Oh, no.
He'd build a John Paul out of a volleyball, some palm fronds for hair.
I probably would, actually.
All right. So we're going with our new format
Yes.
where we switch things up in dramatic, world-shattering ways. We're doing the news first. That's it.
It's not really shattering. We did it 100 times already.
I wanted people to think that's really
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
This is definitely new shattering.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
new.
wonderful. So the news. Do you have anything newsworthy before I start bringing
I
up
do,
anything?
John Paul.
You
The
do?
greatest Superman. And it's DC news because it's Superman
DC
related.
news. Yeah, yeah.
You guys seen Superman 4?
No.
The Quest for Peace.
Quest for Peace?
Absolutely.
The
I'm
movie
sure
that
at
should-
some point in my life I did.
It's better than any DC movie they're making right now, put it that way.
The movie that should never have existed.
Along with the DC movies right now,
Is that
yes.
where he throws the nukes into the sun?
Yes, actually, it is that movie.
That is
Sounds
that.
rad. I want to see this movie
Spoiler
now.
alert.
The bad guy from that movie,
Spoil it
a.k.a. Nuclear Man, is coming to
Yes.
DC Comics. He's getting created in the
Yeah.
comic books. He was that popular Superman 4.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's actually kind of funny. The only reason to do it, the whole Bendis taking over Superman stuff, when that was first announced, some fan on Twitter or something challenged him, "Hey, when you're redoing stuff or whatever, I bet you can't use Nuclear Man in a cool way." So he's taken up the challenge. And
Wow.
Yeah, I would have said, this go away. You're bothering me, kid. Or
That's
whatever,
like
but-
Matt challenging me. You can't punch John Paul through the wall. Well, I'll try. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I will admit that the drawing I saw of Nuclear Man looks really cool.
It's a terrible idea, John Paul.
It's a terrible idea, but the drawing looks cool.
The movie was terrible.
What's the concept behind Nuclear Man? Why can he not be cool?
Because the movie was so bad, it just tainted everything, surrounding it for all time.
This
Okay.
movie made Batman v Superman look almost not bad.
You're really not selling me on this movie, man.
I don't mean to. That's the thing.
I will honestly say, of all the superhero movies that have ever come around, the only one I can think of that might be worse, might be,
Suicide Squad?
no,
Oh.
Steel.
Steel.
I never saw
Oh, with
that.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
I saw that one. It was garbage.
Okay, this one might be better than that.
Okay, so but right there, somewhere close.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It's in
that's a
that-
bad movie.
It's a bad
It's a
movie.
bad movie.
But all right, so that aside,
I feel better.
You feel better? Okay.
Yes.
So real news. One you'll be happy about. It too has begun filming.
Movie of the year 2019.
James
Oh, yeah.
McAvoy. I guess he's in it.
He plays Bill.
He plays Bill. He confirmed that it began filming.
Yes.
So that's brand new. Everybody excited about it too?
Yes.
Actually, I am. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. So are the kids not in this one at all, or
There'll be
do we
flashback
know?
scenes, I think, but
They all go their separate ways, so a flashback scene seems weird.
So how much later is this? 10 years? 20 years?
27, right?
Because they gave the time frame in it,
Yeah,
right?
I think it's 27 years later.
Okay, 27.
That's cool. I'm into that. James
So-
McAvoy rocks.
So these
Yes.
are all characters then that are supposed to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 40
Yeah.
plus. So
They all-
basically between your age and my age, somewhere.
In the book, they all left and became successful except Mike Hanlon, who stayed behind. And I think it's Mike that stayed behind and remembered everything. Everybody else forgot about what happened. And
Oh, they
kinda-
even forgot, huh?
Yeah, because you forget a crazy killer when you're a kid and trying to eat you guys.
Sure.
I forget that too.
I mean, he is like extraterrestrial or something, right? Maybe
He's alien.
maybe you
That's
got to
really
be
weird.
within his aura to like.
There was a giant turtle involved somewhere. I can't remember how he rode the giant turtle out of space. Something like
Gamma?
that.
I believe-
Gamera?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
It
Planets
wasn't
on his
Gamera.
back.
I don't know.
What's a Gamera?
I know what a gamma is, but I'm saying.
Oh, it was the giant
yeah,
turtle
I
monster.
know that is. Yeah, but anyways.
Anyway, yeah. Moving on. Today, literally today, Fox accepted Disney's new bid. So we had Disney bid for Fox, and then at the last minute, Comcast came in and upped the bid. And today, Fox met, and they accepted Disney's newest bid, which is up, the ante on top of
You
what
mean
Comcast
Disney
did.
can outbid Comcast? I never thought that would happen.
Yeah,
John
they
Paul.
did.
Disney has money.
Disney has quite a bit of money. Their bid was 71 point something billion dollars. Plus, it was taking on debt and other stuff, which really made it equivalent of about 85 billion. I think it's 85.4 billion dollars was the equivalent deal. Now, the accepting does not mean it's a done deal. The accepting is Fox has accepted that bid as, all right, we will accept your bid. You win if no one else outbids you. It's, they could have just said we reject your bid. So this, instead of rejecting, this is accepting. But the window is still open for a short period of time for Comcast to come
Well,
back.
you get paid a lot of money, right? I mean, you and I can go in there. We could control
Sure.
Marvel characters.
Sure.
I'll be Marvel movie.
I think I might be $1 or $2 billion short.
So close, though.
Yeah.
So close.
Right there, right
Oh.
there. We could kick in the rest.
Yeah, I mean, if we'll go in on this together, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So,
Can I be
but-
superhero in the movie?
But anyway, so that's coming. So it's still possible Comcast could come, but it's unlikely. It is also possible that Fox might decide to sell the stuff piecemeal, back and forth, which to me is actually the better option. Sell the Marvel characters back to Disney. Sell all the other stuff off to Fox.
Which was
Or
kind
not
of-
Fox back to Comcast.
From what I read, that was the going theory if Comcast did get it, was that there was going to be a very second deal of
And that would
selling
be a-
all the Marvel stuff to Disney anyway.
And that would be okay. I'm fine with that. I worry when you get one company controlling every possible great property that ever exists in the world.
I have a feeling Disney will do something similar. Now that they know Comcast wanted in, they'll probably buy it all and then sell what Comcast wants
I
to
don't see
them.
Disney selling anything. I think they
No?
want world domination.
Because they
really
don't
do.
need all that TV stuff and
Like, I honestly
studios
think
that
Pinky
they
the
don't
Brain took over
actually
Disney
need.
a while ago, and they're actually winning right now.
What are we going to do tonight, Pinky?
Just take over Disney World. That's
Same
what
thing
it
we
is.
do every night, right?
That's a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
And from what I understood, the original offer, there was no actual money changing hands. They were just giving Fox, like, Disney stock.
Right, it was stock originally, and then Comcast came in with a cash offer, and so Disney came back with stock and cash and accepting Fox's debt. It's like all of this combined is the $85 billion.
So they really want this to go through.
They really want it.
Please, guys, give it to
Really
us.
want it. There's a lot of money in this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
just as an aside, this is not to bring up DC. It's only because I happened to read this a couple days ago. I did not realize how much money could be in some of this stuff. We talk about how Marvel is killing it in the movies, and we hear those numbers all the time. DC, we all agree, is doing a great job on TV, whether it's animated or live action. Whether we watch all the shows or not, they've done good there. And the other company doesn't seem to be able to do a good job in the opposite field. There was a report, and this was been about a year and a half ago, I believe it was, the actual number named by a Warner Brothers executive type person is the DC television stuff, which includes the CW stuff, Gotham, Lucifer,
Krypton.
Lucifer's back, by the way.
Krypton. Yep, back. That one's back.
Yes.
But includes all of that. Is $1 billion a year being generated for Warner Brothers
Wow.
by all of that. Which, the next time they say we don't have enough money to do the special effects right on TV, I want to send that article over and over and over again to them. It's like, don't make Martian Manhunter sit on the sidelines. You got the money. Get him in the action. Those kind of things. But anyway.
So what you're saying is Marvel's better than DC?
I didn't hear
I already
that.
said that.
I'm pretty sure I said
I'm
that.
just saying there's a lot of money in all these properties.
Okay.
I think that's what I said.
I may have misunderstood you.
All right, the Max. Does anybody remember Image and the Max?
Yes, Sam
Man,
Keith.
Yeah, Sam Keith. All right. So the Max is returning. Hasn't been around since 1998. It was published from 93 to 98, one of the earliest Image comics. Yeah, Sam Keith and I'm blanking on the artist's name. That was
Sam Keith
involved
was
in
the
it.
artist.
Well, then the writer. There was.
I think he did both.
I think they both, yeah.
No, there was another there was another, and I know the other guy is an artist. That's why. So that there was another artist who joined with it. Maybe he was the inker or something like that on it.
The
And I'm
tracer.
now- yeah. But either way, they published it from 93 to 98, and anyway, the Max is coming back with the Max Batman Arkham Dreams crossover story.
That's interesting.
Kind of cool for anybody who cares. I thought it was kind of neat. I never read the original.
I never read the comics, but the animated series was really good.
Jim Sinclair.
That's not who I'm thinking of.
Then I don't know where you come from, Grandpa.
I'll have to look it up and report next time.
Yes.
Was it Stan Lee?
No.
No.
Jack Kirby?
No.
No.
I'm all out of
That's-
guesses.
not-
Those are the only guys I know.
We're out of names. Anyway, I've got this
Funny
guy's
guy.
autograph on a different comic, and I'll have to look it up and find it.
Yeah, some guy signed a random comic book. That was me, John Paul.
No,
I was cosplaying that one. I signed your comic book.
I'm just horrible with names. Ever since I got this old as an old Titan, I'm horrible with names.
Everybody who worked for the last job, he doesn't know the names. Even gets my name occasionally.
I mean, to be fair, you're forgettable. So
I am.
You didn't forget your own
Show
name. You
once
still
a
go by
week,
B-Man.
though.
You couldn't remember anything past the B.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, all right. There's been some CW cast updates and changes and shakeups for next year. So Ralph Dibny, Nora Allen, and Cecile West are all going to become full-time members on The Flash. Wally West, just like the actor, just like his character, has decided to go find himself, so he's no longer going to be a part of the cast permanently. He said he's willing to have Wally West come back as needed, but the actor's going to go find himself, which is, I don't know, kind of weird, but
Do you know Painter Breaker's still on it, or she kind of
yeah, she's
full-time?
Yep, full-time.
Okay.
One of the best characters.
Yeah.
And then over on Supergirl, Wynn and Mon-El are out, and Brainiac 5 is in for next season.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Brainiac 5 fans do.
That's you, right?
So, moving on from that, Incredibles 2. Anybody here see Incredibles 2?
Yes.
I have.
No.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was the same thing as the first one. I really did. I enjoyed it, but again, I thought the story was.
Yeah, but I thought the first one was awesome.
Yeah. So there we go. Okay, I'm with you there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good sequel.
Well, it's
And,
breaking records. As an animated
Yep.
movie, it's breaking records left and right, or at least left. I don't know about right.
He always just left and right. Always.
It could be up and down, or back and forth.
I will make a prediction right now.
Okay.
This will beat Batman v Superman. Money wise.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
No, it will. It will.
I
No,
understand
it's
that, yeah.
happening. It's already. It's
Unfortunately,
it's
it won't
happening.
beat it won't be. It will beat and shouldn't beat the best animated superhero movie of all time, Mask of the Phantasm. Mask of the Phantasm, hands down, best superhero movie. And
I can argue
it should be making it should have made a whole lot more money than it did, and it kind of bombed.
Yeah, well, a different kind of art style back in those days. They weren't
very
as accepted back in those days.
Very different.
Pixar changed everything.
And the last bit of news that I have, they're with the success of Discovery on CBS All Access, CBS and Paramount and such are looking at doing more Star Trek, possibly a reboot of some of the Star Trek stuff, including like Next Gen, with Patrick Stewart coming back.
Yes. He looks exactly the same as he looked in those movies.
He looks a little
if you
older.
go back and watch it, he does look way.
Yeah.
It's like
he looks good for his age, but
Yeah, it's like weird. It's like he doesn't look old, and you would have thought he looked old then, like he looks now, but he's like a different kind of old then. He's like, I don't know, it's weird. He does look older, but he still looks super young for his age.
He could pull it off. And
How
I don't know
old is he right now?
I don't know what role
He's,
he would come back.
126, I believe.
I
Okay.
actually do think he's like pushing 80 though.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, he could come back in some role. I don't think he would come back as a lead of a show. He could be an admiral who sends them off on missions or those kind of things. If they want to do a callback to the original Star Trek, Captain Pike, the captain from the very first Star Trek from the pilot, who they replaced with Kirk, they had him brought back in a chair, looking old and decrepit and worn out, and they had to take him to a planet to where they could let him live out a wonderful, happy end of his day's life. They could do that kind of thing with Patrick Stewart and have
They just
Picard
make
do
him a
that.
Borg again.
And do you guys know they're doing a Star Trek Transformers crossover in the comics?
I heard they were doing that.
Yes, that was in the news, by the way. I just noticed that.
I heard they were doing a Star Trek Transformers. I
Yeah,
think
one
that's
job,
kinda
John
cool.
Paul. One job, keep that whiteboard
One
updated.
job. Okay.
I
And
feel like that was one job he had. He did some other thing.
No, I did most of that stuff. You just see him with the phone.
what nobody sees is the pointing at the phone that the other people are doing right now.
Yeah, like he
Just kind of waving it in the general direction of Samsung phone here. Yeah, not sponsored by Samsung, by the way.
I can't afford a Samsung phone. That's why he does it.
You have an iPhone, dude.
I get it for free every year.
I mean, I feel like you could get the same deal with a Samsung.
If it doesn't have Pokemon Go on it.
Probably does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, in that
Yeah.
case, I gotta change. That changes everything.
That changes everything.
Pokemon Go. Actually, last bit of news. I should have looked up the name of the character. I do not remember the name of the Pokemon. But they've officially said there is a Pokemon now that eats other Pokemon. Which is...
That's fantastic.
That is dark.
It's
That
already
dark.
a dark concept that they kind of brush aside.
You know,
for this.
capturing these animals in the wild that are nice and peaceful, making them fight is not dark.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to send my little kid out into the world to live on his own and hope he survives. And he's going to do these dog fights and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe one day I'll hear from him again. I don't know, when he's like 10 or 11 or 12 years old. It's kind of a dark concept.
Okay, they wear it over there.
Yeah.
We're good.
But anyway, there's now one that eats other ones. So the next time I say we need a Pokemon Go companion app where you can be a Pokemon hunter and go out shooting Pokemon, people shouldn't say I'm dark. I'm no darker than what they're doing already. I think it'd be a great app.
No.
That'd be way better.
Yeah.
I think
That'd
so.
be way better.
I mean, wouldn't you like to have a Bulbasaur head mounted on your wall?
That would be rad. But I feel like taking his flower from his back would make more sense. Put
Okay.
that up there on the
It
wall.
works. You can
You
mount
guys are
whatever.
dark, man. I don't know how to do this.
All right. So since we reversed everything, it is now time for the B-Man question.
No, hold on a second.
the week.
Well, we had big news. I forgot about this. The
We had
Friday
big
13th lawsuit.
Oh, nobody cares.
I
man.
care about this.
Let's go to this.
Okay, it's on the news.
I don't know what you're talking about. Honestly, I don't
The
know. what
original
you're-
writer of the first movie is suing the property now, saying that he hasn't got anything since, essentially, or they made video games, successful movies, merchandise, that kind of stuff, and he hasn't got any money from it. So now everything's essentially on hold until the lawsuit's settled. That's all I know. I cried a lot when I read this, so
Alrighty.
I'm crying right
So
now.
it's not really on hold because they have to have it on hold. It's on hold so that if the ruling is against them in some big way, they don't lose money from this
Correct.
venture. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Alright.
yes, the topic.
So, B-Man, question of the week. What is our B-Man question of the week? Which I'm saying way too many times. B-Man,
Yes. Okay.
what's your question
So Solo just came out.
this week?
Bombed,
Wait.
kind of. Solo kind of bombed, somewhat.
It bombed for what people would expect of a Star Wars
Okay.
movie. It made a ton of money. Would you not be happy with making
Well,
$250 million?
We'll get back to that in a second, though.
Like in the past month,
Because
if
it
I
get-
could give you $250 million, would you be
You
happy?
should give me a raise for that kind of money, but
Okay, yeah.
that's up to you.
Okay.
As far as the movie's going, it actually isn't making that kind of money right now, Jump On. As a whole, the movie's actually set to lose money. Because the merchandise isn't selling like they prodded it to. I think, what did you say, it was $80 million loss, give or
Yeah,
take?
there's a some analytics out there that say they may end up losing $50 to $80 million on the movie when it's all said and done.
So
No,
yeah.
I mean that's from the property in general. That doesn't actually mean from the movie because the movie
Yeah.
will make back its stuff. But
Yeah.
like he's saying, the production on all the toys and
Yeah,
stuff that
the
nobody's
movie-
buying.
Yeah, the movie cost them $250 million to make, and it passed $300 million last week or the week before.
Right, but all
So-
the advertising, the toy
Yeah.
sales isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. A lot of things aren't happening.
Oh, and they might lose some. And I would feel bad, except I have a feeling Disney losing $50 million on one movie, it's probably like me or you losing a quarter out of our pocket.
Yeah, but see, I'll get back to that in a second.
Okay, okay.
Do you think they should continue on with the solo movies and individual movies, or just create new content totally? That's the question we're starting. I'm going to go back to that
Okay.
statement you made in a second.
Guess first. What do y'all think? Since y'all had so much prep time for that question.
Yeah, I feel like the problem isn't the one-off movies. I think the problem is the prequels, not prequels. It being a prequel was what was wrong with this movie in particular, because it made him feel like everything he did happened in a weekend, and they got to touch on every single thing that you know about this character. And I think that's like counterintuitive for telling a good story. We knew nothing about the people from Rogue One, so when they go make this movie, you only know that they got the plans. You know nothing else, right? So that left them open to write a really good movie. And I think that's really the problem there. But the bigger problem is, I think, actually The Last Jedi. I don't think they should stop making these movies, because these movies, so far, we got one good one, one bad one, or whatever, but don't stop making them because people didn't like this one. I don't think it's that people didn't like this one. I think it's that people were kind of soured from the last one, and then this one wasn't stellar, so they weren't telling their friends to go see it. That's what I think. Sir, what do you
I'm
think?
pretty much on the same page. Yeah, I think the one-off, a Star Wars story moniker that they're putting on these sub films, I think that's a good idea because you can tell these like offshoot stories. It was just Solo wasn't a good choice
Yeah.
Because you could see the whiteboard they probably had, or the checklist of shit that, excuse me, things they wanted to accomplish, and that they just went down the line on the checklist and did it.
That was the first curse word in Old Titans history. Just like
I apologize.
I think it was blurred enough. We're gonna get by with it. We're probably gonna get by with it.
That's why we don't have nice things.
Yeah, I think it would happen again, like, because there's so many characters, right, that we want to see more of, or people think they want to see more of until they get them. That would be just that same deal. Like, oh, what did so and so do? Well, we know he did these things, so let's write a movie around that. That's a problem. I think Boba Fett could end up having the same problems, where it's like, we want to know where he got his armor from. We want to know where the big ding in his head came from. We want to know,
But it's a much looser framework. There.
It is a much looser framework.
Less things that he's much more of an open book. So you could, if they just, even Solo could have been cool if they just went into it like, hey, let's just make a cool movie about Han Solo and an adventure you've never heard about, instead of feeling like they had to go down that checklist of
Did you
things
guys
we
see the
already
movie?
knew about.
We saw it, right?
Yeah.
Did you both enjoy it?
It was
Like
fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
And I agree with you about Boba Fett, but I think they would still be like, we got to make sure he gets the armor. We got to meet those guys. We got to get the shot in his head where you think he's dead, but he's not. And by the end, he's got to get hired for whatever job he's getting hired for by Darth Vader. Like, those would be these are the three things we have to do in this movie, and it's like, but why though? Why do you need to do that?
And that's the thing. It's not the movies themselves. It's just the way they tackle them needs to change.
So I'm gonna halfway agree and halfway say you're wrong. But that's that.
Oh God, please don't say it like that though.
That's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had been at kind of an even level for a long time. We needed
Okay,
we
got
needed
it,
a change
got
in
it.
Whatever going on. I could have said you are wrong,
Whoa.
and that would have been even more fun.
That was too high. That was too much. Though.
Too much. Sorry, but again, halfway agree. Having a checklist of we have to cover, as much as we love Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I didn't have to know why Harrison Ford had a scar. The actor has a scar. Who cares how it's built in? That didn't matter. Having a checklist of stuff you have to cover, no. If in the telling of a good, even origin movie, or not, forget about origin, but an early story movie, you happen to randomly cover something because you just, I got a cool idea around something. Great, that's fine. Don't make it a checklist. That being said, I loved Solo. I thought it was fun. I thought it was most of every Star Wars movie for 10 movies that have come out. This one is the most in the spirit of the original New Hope of all of them. I just feel like it has the most of that same kind of big adventure feel that New Hope had, and that it was fun. I agree. Last Jedi was the biggest problem. It was so controversial, and this one was 5 months on its heels, and people hadn't gotten over it. And this had so much issues going through production of changing directors and everything else that it was set up for failure.
Yeah.
It could have been the best movie that's ever been made on the face of the planet, and it was going to be a failure. That's unfortunate, but it's the case. But as far as having a bunch of movies, they probably had a whiteboard. Kind of like we have a whiteboard of news.
Yeah.
They had a whiteboard of story ideas. A Yoda movie, a Boba Fett movie, a Solo movie, and so on. Solo would rise to the top because if you look back at all the books published over the past 30-plus years, there have been a number of Han Solo adventures, and they've sold well and have been really good. I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
They were very good books. They did not try to answer every single question. In fact, the only question I can remember being answered just really in your face.
The dice?
No, the Kessel Run. Maybe the dice was mentioned, but I only remember the Kessel Run. In under 12 parsecs or whatever.
Yeah.
That was answered, and it was in the book. It was something where you had to get from point A to point B, and because of a black hole field or something in the middle, people always had to skirt around it. But because of Imperial or other blockades, the smugglers tried to get as close as possible to black holes and still get past, so the shorter they can make the distance, the more successful, more money they made as smugglers. And he, with the Millennium Falcon, had managed to cut it closer than anybody else ever had. He had gotten the closest and not been sucked in.
That's a
way better way to do it.
Yeah, it is.
They messed it up in the movie.
I mean, it's a great explanation.
Yeah.
Like we said in our show. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, this is one that was told back in the 80s.
Oh,
and they didn't want to revisit that. Sorry. Keep on.
I say, like we said in our show, it kind of ruins that whole line now because now that we know the circumstances around the Kessel Run,
And the extra fuel, whatever it was, or
yeah, that's your story. Like, why is he not going into bars and telling people that he got away from this giant like
Tentacle
monster and
Did you hear about
gravity
this,
well and all these like amazing
Yeah,
things? He
he's
just
just-
says, "Oh, I did it in so many parsecs." Like, that's not the story.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting around bars full of smugglers and other people who do that same kind of run, and hey, I shaved off 0.1 today. You know,
Yeah.
they're always bragging about.
Yeah.
Kind of like today, you'd have people bragging about, hey, I squeezed 10 more horsepower out of my engine. I beat the cops
exactly.
down
That
the
makes
road
way
or
more
whatever.
sense.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just do that. Let's do that movie instead. Stop making movies. Let's write more books. You get it.
Books are good.
Nah, I'm not going to read that.
But back to your question, I think it'd be perfectly fine to do tons of one-shots, whether they're prequels, future, side stories. I think it's perfectly fine. Just have a good story. Don't go into it with an executive saying, we want to manufacture this movie. Go into it with, these writers have all pitched us ideas. Which ones do we like best?
Yeah,
That'd be a
exactly.
better approch.
There were two major faults they did during Solo. Two major faults Disney did.
Okay.
Surprisingly, number one, marketing was terrible.
Yeah. Oh,
They spent tons of money in marketing, be it released in May, but not May 4th, which is the Star Wars Day. You release it that day, you make tons of money. Tons. Did it? This allowed through the end of the
yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Let's sandwich it between Avengers, which is who's see that movie, right?
Right.
And Deadpool, something like that, right? I think those two movies between it or around.
No,
there.
they were both before it.
Right
In
before
the
it.
Okay.
3 weeks leading up to it, and then immediately after it was something else large. But
Even still, I mean, you have December all to yourself.
yeah,
Leave it in December.
that would have been best. It would have been a
You do
full
not
year.
follow up Avengers, which is it's going to be a huge movie, and Disney movie itself. That was stupid right there. Number two is The Last Jedi follow. This would tick me off. Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson just laughed at the fans, completely laughed at the fans. You know, all the feedback they had, and they always dismissed them completely.
Yeah.
Are you guys kidding me? We made $1 billion. It's a small minority. And they dismissed the fans completely, not even acknowledge it. And they said, we're not going to acknowledge these fans.
Right.
They flat out said that. The fans responded about seeing the movie. Okay, you don't acknowledge us? We're not going to see a movie. And that's what happened.
There
Because
was a
they
lot of
ignored the
that.
fact that $1 billion, yeah, we made great money. Force Awakens made $2 billion. So yeah, you lose the money. And go back to your original statement, we're trying to say you're wrong with, oh, you lose a quarter out of our pocket. It's not that way. Because yes, they're going to lose some money, which the money they're going to lose is nothing. When you're
Could've
expecting
made a lot
$1
of
billion,
money.
cut, exactly.
Oh, they could have made a whole lot more. No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that this is not going to destroy Star Wars. It's not going to destroy any of that kind of stuff.
It won't destroy you, but when you're expecting, that big Christmas bonus coming to you in a paycheck, instead of getting that tax refund, whatever it is, instead of getting a big tax refund coming your way, you actually owe money.
Yeah.
That's what just happened to them.
But I do feel like with Solo, they definitely were keeping their expectations down because of all the trouble. Like, that was such public knowledge. They had to know that this movie wasn't going to be the big hit. That
I don't know if they did. I thought the egos got the better of them. I really do. They were Star Wars. We're going to make money. It didn't work that way, did it? And I'm kind of glad
even
this happened. I really
the
am.
internet buzz going into it was pretty negative too.
It was very negative.
Despite
Yeah.
the fact that I thought the trailer was good.
And I think
Yeah.
if it had been, to your point, in December, a full year from Last Jedi, a lot of the Last Jedi stuff would have died down. You'd have had time to build up the positive. Let the negative filter away. The negative's going to happen. And then start building up the positive. Have a special screening for a handful of fans at San Diego Comic-Con. And let that buzz start going
Yeah.
out. That could have gotten it there. I just hope it doesn't let them stop. I'd love to have an Obi-Wan movie. I'd love to have. I'm not sure about a Yoda one, but a Boba Fett movie could be good if done right. I mean, it's Bounty Hunter out there.
Yeah,
doing
just
whatever.
give me one of his bounties he's doing.
Keep it separate from the story, yeah.
Just keep it separate.
Yeah, tell one story. I only got 2 hours. You don't need to cram his whole life into it.
Right.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, though, they should at least look at the DCEU as like an example of no matter how bad you mess up and how much flack you get from fans, like as long as you make something that's quality, people are going to go support it. And we saw that with Wonder Woman. Like the things that came before it, regardless of if you liked it or not, like it didn't, like the reviews and stuff and the negative press going into it was very negative.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, but hey, no, guys, we did a good one now. So as long as, even coming off of The Last Jedi, where everybody was like, oh, we don't like this or whatever, or divisive and this, like as long as that next one comes out and they're like, no, guys, trust us, we turned it around, we're doubling down on what the fans want and we're making, like, it'll be right back up to $2 billion. It's not. I don't think this is, like you're saying, this isn't the end of Star Wars. This is just the end of them, hopefully, like not listening to the fans' expectations. of
Yeah,
what they want.
like I agree with B-Man. I think that there was a statement made with this movie of how few people went and saw it.
Yeah.
Because the reviews weren't that bad.
No, the reviews weren't bad enough for this to not make money. The reviews were fine. you
Yeah,
know?
people were probably already on the fence with this movie, and then with the backlash from
I mean, this was
Last Jedi, they're just
much
like,
much
forget
better
it.
than Last Jedi.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah.
I think it was better than Force Awakens.
I do too.
that I can't go
No, I
with.
can't.
But
I can't get with you.
But
can't get with you.
but still, but either way, Last Jedi, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you just say based on the quality of a movie, the money should be equal.
Yeah.
Then it should make $1 billion plus. But that's where the Last
They will
Jedi
not
fall
do
out.
that. Yeah.
Okay, just say you guys could go Boba Fett route. Would you go an early route with him, just becoming Boba Fett?
Oh, you
Or
didn't
would
heard
you
about
go-
Boba Fett? He's just a clone. He's a little kid.
Well, I know that part already.
We already know his early stuff.
Well, you see his father get killed. That's the last you see of him.
yeah, it must have messed him
Would
up
you
bad.
go? I think he's in the cartoons, wasn't he? In Clone Wars, I believe.
I think so.
But would you go him doing his early hunts, or would you go after escaping the Sarlacc pit?
That's what I was actually pitching this movie earlier. I was like, that's how you do it. You have him, like, the first trailer they show, the very first, the music drops, and you see him walking away from the Sarlacc pit. And, like, that's all you need to let people know. Like, yeah, he was that guy that you
And
remember
that would
him
fire
being.
people up.
See,
That
Exactly.
would fire people. I would get fired up over that trailer.
although, what I would do, honestly, and that'd be fine. That'd be good. I would make it so generic, you can't tell. It's Boba Fett. He's
Where-
on a
yeah,
mission.
where did it happen, yeah.
He's on a mission. He's in the Star Wars universe. He's hunting somebody down, and you have a fantastic adventure. If you want, at the very end, you could throw in, as that kind of post-credit scene teaser, him getting a message from Darth Vader, report to me, we need to track down the Millennium Falcon, or whatever,
Yeah.
and tie it to that was what happened right before Empire Strikes Back. You could, but but during the movie you have no idea. Or don't do that. Either way, do or don't do something like that. Make the movie so standalone, it doesn't matter.
I'm actually with Matt. I think if you have him come out of you see the pit in the background, and you see the footsteps, and also you focus on him walking away.
Yeah.
I get fired up immediately.
I think
That's
the
all
only,
I'm gonna see.
The one reason why I would definitely set it after that and in that kind of scenario, because he is, regardless if you think he's cool, he is that joke of like, you got taken out by a blind Han Solo, like, and you can like have him. No, that didn't kill him. Like blind Han Solo didn't kill him. He did cool stuff afterwards. Trust me, promise. And he's like, yeah, you can even have some throwaway joke in there where he's like, throws away that jetpack because it's malfunctioned, because it's like, oh, this piece of crap, this got me in a bunch of trouble, it shot me off into this thing or whatever. But yeah, I think you do it afterwards to redeem him, because if not, anything you do before still just leads into him going out like a punk, So I would set it afterwards.
Or we could go a different direction. We could think like movie executives and say, okay, we're going to do an origin movie. We're going to show that his jetpack was actually developed in this factory that had droids who were sympathetic to the resistance, and they programmed this jetpack and made sure it was delivered to him so at the appropriate time it malfunctioned and kill him when he was against them.
You know
And
what? I'm into this.
you-
I'm
you-
into this. Make that movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This is movie executive
It's
thinking
just
here.
about the droids in the factory.
It's not even about Boba Fett. Yeah, it's not at all.
Yeah, this is movie executive thinking. Remember,
And I do think it would be cool though if they did set it before to have some sort of really big money heist, and it's kind of a competition between like Solo and Greedo and
Yeah, if you could incorporate those
Boba.
characters in a more organic way
yeah,
than
have
just
like some crossover there where he runs into those characters.
because those are cool characters, but they're not. Well, other than Solo, he already got one. But those characters are cool enough where you incorporating them would be neat, but they're not cool enough to be like, we're going to make a Greedo
Greedo
movie.
is not cool. Greedo missed a guy point blank right across the table.
No,
from him.
Greedo got shot before that ever happened, sir.
Yeah, I agree.
Before it
with you.
ever happened.
I agree with you there. Yes, but
Yeah, I got the feeling Greedo, like if you had a top 5, Greedo was up there.
Yeah. He wasn't number 1,
Yeah.
but he was top 5.
up until that point when he missed that shot point blank, I mean, I can get that shot.
Yeah, that's true. That was
I
sad.
don't, or you could say he was really, really talented. Because if you have a gun pointed straight that direction and can make the blast go at a 45-degree angle without
Yeah.
moving your gun,
That's true.
you are very talented.
He was force sensitive. He didn't realize it. He skirted right to the side.
Did you not see Wanted? They can curve bullets these days.
That's true.
They
That's
can. They can curve. He curved the laser somehow.
That's
Curve the
impressive.
laser.
It's talent.
It really is.
Yes.
But he was just trying to scare Han, and then Han shot him dead.
It's a
messed
monster. They
Well,
cocked
they
that
done that.
man
You see,
up.
like Han at least kick the table maybe a little bit. That causes him shit off to the side. Something different. I don't know.
No.
Or I've got a crazy idea.
Just keep the original.
Leave it alone.
And this is the thing that gets
Yeah.
me too, is that they changed that story because Lucas said, "Well, I don't want Leia, marrying a guy who shot somebody first."
Cold-blooded.
Well, I
killer.
mean, you figure Han Solo was a drug dealer. He's a spice dealer. So you
Yeah.
can't have him being a spice dealer, but not be...
Well, it depends. They never said spice.
Nah,
Drugs.
yes,
It could be salt. For all we know, salt is outlawed. That's a spice.
There was a salt planet, John Paul.
There was the entire Salt Planet that one of those
Yes,
movies
there
takes
was.
place on.
That they're also ignoring.
Han
It
Solo's
could-
gonna be
It
super
could be
rich.
used taking it to
Yes.
weird worm creatures to warp space to take them to Arrakis, Dune, desert planet.
Different universe, actually. I'm just saying.
They warped space and ended up there and needed spice to get back.
I don't know what any of that means.
Dune, you never seen Dune?
I mean, no.
Okay, but we all...
Patrick Stewart's in it.
Yes, they have
Yeah.
He is.
square body things, right? Like when
Yeah.
they're getting attacked.
Oh, they have these shields that come
Oh.
up at angles or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
so
yeah,
they don't have square bodies, but the
Well,
shield,
yeah.
the shields are not round. The shields are at
No, I
certain
remember.
angles.
I remember. Yeah.
So
It's
let me-
amazing who all
Let
is
me
in
ask you guys
that
another
movie,
question then. If this next movie comes out, we don't no title yet. If this is just as bad as Last Jedi,
Okay.
or just as divisive, is this going to kill Star Wars? I agree, Solo doesn't kill it. Solo's a side story. Last Jedi hurt it badly, I think.
I don't think anything ever kills Star Wars. Stuff can make Star Wars go dormant for a period of time.
Yeah, if the prequels didn't kill Star Wars, nothing's going to kill Star Wars.
That was what I was gonna say. Yeah, Star Wars would be fun.
And
But
they're
it's
working
gonna
on
put a hurting on it.
Yeah, they're working on their streaming service. They're gonna have a live action thing on there, animated stuff on there. Okay, if the next one bombs, maybe they take 3 years off. I don't think they ever take more than 3 years off and then come back.
Could it kill it for me? Yes, because I'm already like a teetering fan. I like Star Wars fine, but yeah, if this next one comes out and it's not good, like I'd
Yeah, like I
be
think
done.
both of us would have skipped Solo if we didn't have a show to talk about it on.
I was going to skip it because I wanted it to bomb because of the whole Last Jedi comment. Just the fact that it wasn't even the movie being bad itself. The fact that Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson just dismissed the fan totally, it just upset me. But now I'm thinking, I saw every single movie in the theater, every one of them. I'm like, I got to see this too, just as a tradition type thing. But here's another question for you guys, because Marvel's huge right now.
yes.
DC
Yes,
is
it
bad,
is.
we get that.
I felt like that was unnecessary.
But
Yeah, just a bit.
But-
And, okay, as long as you're gonna throw that in there, I will have to say, I think it was a bad move in Disney's part for two reasons in Star Wars. Moving Han Solo for all the reasons we said. At the same time, it opened up a time slot in December for anybody to come in. Originally, it was going to be Avatar, and then James Cameron was behind, so Avatar went away.
he's already 15 years behind, right, at this point.
But that was that was what was supposed to be there next. So now Aquaman has that time slot. Forget about anything else. If Aquaman turns out to be really good,
Yeah, but the good news is it's not going to. So
but
we're okay.
if it does, and 3 months later Shazam comes out and is really good, to your point of just start doing a couple of good movies that
Yeah.
can turn things around. That makes it harder,
But just go,
They just made they made a really weird decision.
it was a bad decision.
Really weird decision.
But right now, Marvel's doing really well.
Absolutely.
Star Wars, I think, is still the #1 franchise as far as movies go, films, that kind of stuff. Do you guys think Marvel can overtake that?
I want to take this one. Let me field this one. I disagree with everything you just said. Not
Okay.
everything, just the second half. To say the Star Wars is the #1 is ridiculous. Up to this point, even the most hardcore fans will say half of the Star Wars movies are good.
I agree with you.
Star Wars as a brand, yes, but the movies.
I'm saying it's a brand total.
I'm not even sure if that's true anymore.
Yeah, you might be right
There's
on
way
that.
more successful films in the Marvel universe than there is in Star Wars.
Yeah, if we're
I
just
guess
going.
if you're throwing in the TV show stuff and the cartoons and stuff, Star Wars starts to edge it out.
I'm leaning towards toy sales, Star Wars. When those toys, they have a day for that day. Toy sales come out, it goes to the roof. When the movies come out, even think of it, Marvel movies, I think I enjoy more. I always, because like I said, Star Wars, the prequels weren't great. Last Jedi,
They were bad.
I still enjoy them. They were bad though. I agree with you. They were bad, but I enjoy them. Last Jedi I can't watch. I watched twice and I'm like, I'm done. What was I trying to make a point here? Oh yeah. So basically, Star Wars still, I think, as a whole.
It's more lucrative, you think?
Yeah, I think it's more lucrative that way. I should say. I think Marvel's coming close.
Yeah, and
I think Marvel might
another-
actually surpass them unless Star Wars makes another
Yeah.
huge movie.
Exactly. If Star Wars does have another
But-
bad film, I think Marvel overtakes it as the most lucrative property Disney owns.
And I don't even know. I mean, you may be right because, like you said, they have those dates for the toys and stuff. But that is the thing, right? Is a new Star Wars movie comes out, new toys come out. Marvel is releasing stuff yearly all the time because they have the comic side of it and the movie side of it. So I wonder if you do just look at the overall, like, what Marvel sells in toys and stuff, does Star Wars sell more? Because they have their whole Legends line that has nothing to do with their movies that sell all year long, and then they have the movie stuff on top of that. Like, I don't know. I have none of the numbers at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we're just looking at straight up Marvel, maybe it edges it out. But if you're looking at just movie stuff, you're probably right. But I wonder, like, how much of that falls back into Disney's pocket.
I think based on their current direction, the way they're going, Marvel outsells Disney, if they aren't already, within the next 5 years. Absolutely. I bet they are already. Like you said, if you take into account the whole universe of stuff.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars is putting out one movie a year. There's not a whole... I mean, there's a few comics, but not a huge... not a 50s-plus comic line. The toys tied to the movies, and Marvel has everything else. What is sad, and this isn't just to bring up DC, but what is sad is, if you look at the general public out there, walk up and down the street and just pick random... That old lady, that young man, that just random people. More people would care about Star Wars, but if you gave them three choices, which do you identify with over your life more? Which do you know more about? Superman, Luke Skywalker, or Spider-Man, or Iron Man, or pick the Marvel one. The DC ones have the bigger chance of being the biggest franchise of all three. Ball definitely has been dropped. Doesn't matter whether I enjoyed any of the movies or not. The movie side has been dropping the ball, but their TV's going so strong, the comics are going strong, the animated is going strong. If they get the movies going in the right direction, that has the potential for being the biggest franchise. Because honestly, when you do find the numbers, I bet you'd be surprised. Harry Potter's probably up there close to the Marvel and Star Wars
That's
numbers.
True. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're looking at this acquisition and being like, why did we buy Star Wars? Because obviously they know why they bought Star Wars. But you gotta, like Kathleen Kennedy, keep bringing her up. She's got to be looking at Kevin Feige like, oh, this guy. Like, just mess something up.
How does he do it?
But also to that point, I want to say, because I've brought this up several times, at this point, with her in charge, it's only been the new stuff, right? She didn't have anything to do with any of the prequels or nothing. So we're 4 movies in now. And if you look at the Marvel Universe, 4 movies into it, you had Iron Man, you had Iron Man 2, you had Incredible Hulk, and you had Thor. Yes. So most people would say 3 of those movies are not good. Like, I disagree with that because I liked Iron Man 2 more than a lot of people. But, like, Incredible Hulk, I know that's your favorite, but a lot of people look at that one like a failure.
That's because I like the characters so much.
It's widely considered the worst.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if you look at what...
Well, not the worst of all the Marvel movies, of those 4. People would put Incredible Hulk above things like Thor 2.
That's the only other one that's in the argument, but I would say if you
regardless,
people do a list,
keep going.
5 of
Keep
them,
going.
But that's my point, though. It's like, if you look at Star Wars and just say, all right, these are the 4 movies they've made, they're in no worse a position than Marvel was at the same exact time. If anything, they're in a better position because they've already had 2 movies go over $1 billion. And people didn't like Iron Man 2, so they were like, oh, well, let's focus on something other than world building with the next Iron Man. People didn't like Thor being so, like, kind of hokey and cartoony, I guess, so they went more like real, like, drama. That didn't work out for them either, but you know what I'm saying. And then they were like, oh, people don't like Incredible Hulk, so
it took them a while to figure everything out.
Yeah, exactly. They're still trying to figure it out. Now, should they have had it figured out because it was Star Wars and they paid $4 billion for it? Maybe. But I'm saying they're going to have growing pains regardless. So I don't think the franchise is ruined. I think the next movie could come out and it could be their Avengers, And
they're at that crucial turning point. Like,
this is where they need to be doing.
Avengers wasn't the hit that it was, we would not still be watching these MCU movies.
Yeah.
It would have just died right there.
It actually is a good point. If you go back and look at a whole bunch of franchises, this might be good for a future one. Look at the first 4 movies of these franchises across the board. James Bond, Star Trek, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, all of them. It'd be interesting to see
how many times they get it right in the early days.
Because we can even throw DC in this as much as we like to crap on them. Man of Steel wasn't horrible.
It was fine.
Batman vs. Superman, everybody pretty much hated.
I loved it.
I enjoyed it.
Suicide Squad,
same thing.
I enjoyed it.
But
then Wonder Woman almost universally loved.
Right.
And then even Justice League was flawed, but most people seem to like it okay.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
their early numbers here, they're batting about 500, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, another good one because it does continue to change with them. But Fox is X-Men. Like, if you look at... A lot of people liked X1 fine when it came out,
Like,
and it was like, oh, all right.
X1
X2 was good.
But X2 was great.
And then X3 come out, not as many people liked it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even in the early years of that.
Origin's terrible, so now you're 50%.
Yeah, and then they come back with First Class, which everybody seemed to like, and Days of Future Past. So, like, just
Both
because...
DC and Star Wars, the new Star Wars run, are both at that crucial turning point where they got to come up with another big hit now if they want to keep it going, or else, yeah, probably will just kind of die on the vine. Star Wars not dying, because it's never going to die, but it'll go dormant.
Exactly.
Well, of all the ones we've mentioned, I don't see Star Trek ever dying. I don't see Star Wars ever dying. Harry Potter would have the potential, even though they haven't had a flop yet, but Harry Potter is one of those, because it's such a narrow focus, it could die off. Marvel, in those first 4 to 5 movies, could have died off if they had not got the formula right.
For sure.
Marvel was not as ingrained in the public conscious. DC is one of those like Star Wars or Star Trek. It's never going to die off, even if it goes away for a while.
Yeah, with Superman and Batman, you're never going away.
Right. So, like James Bond. James Bond is never going to go away. He's been around for too long.
That's another one. Where Casino Royale comes out, everybody loves it. Quantum of Solace comes out, everybody hates it. But, they bounce
keep
back.
going.
Yeah.
Everybody. You can't, don't judge them too soon is what I'm saying, because we've seen everybody else go through these growing pains too.
Yeah, changed my mind. I didn't think of all those things. I thought Star Wars was hands down the winner, but yeah, you made some valid points there.
Yeah.
I might have been changed. I'll give that.
All
to you.
right. Well, look at the clock on the wall. The big round thing with the hands for B-Man.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not the digital
I
thing.
think because he's dumb. That's why they do
Yeah, I got that. I got that.
Pick
Right.
one.
We should probably be saying our goodbyes, but before we go, do we have a B-Man
It's an
question?
easy one, JP, because we're heading towards 4th of July.
Yes.
It's not really a question, but just give me three top 4th of July Independence Day movies. If you're coming to America, you want to feel the 4th of July spirit, give me 3 movies.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
So, for next time, this is John Paul.
B-Man.
Hard at work, Matt, y'all.
HardAtWork, Nick.
And the Geeks Worldwide Network saying, we are out of here.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks, assemble!